Because I'm like Muhammad sent me. He prepared me. And that's the way I want all of you to be. Is that clear? If you get to the place where you and your wife or your mother or whoever it is, you can't get along in peace, then part in peace. It's time to separate, but do it in peace. Is that clear? When you get to the place, my little sisters here, you get to the place you don't want to obey mama and daddy, all right, well then part in peace. And when your children get to be a certain age, when they get to be about 18 or 19 years old, don't try to rule them then. You know, they have a mind of their own. You understand? As long as they're trying to do right then, what you should do then is go along with them. Don't destroy their minds. Sometimes I've known parents to go put pressure on their children. I had an aunt like that, my Aunt Sophie. She had some sons. She never wanted her sons to leave. She kept her sons there, every one of them. In other words, they never got married. When they wanted to go get married, she wouldn't let them. Kept them all there. Now, there they was, 45, 50-year-old men, never had been married before. All they would do was just sit around and smoke and drink and cuss her out. Just think over this now. Sometimes I know one particular parent that put so much pressure on a child, in other words, that the child had a nervous breakdown. Think about this now. Child come up shaking and had a nervous breakdown. Had to go to a mental institution. Look how terrible it is. And when a person has a mental disturbance, a nervous breakdown, it's not easy to bring them back. I know cases where they go and have a nervous breakdown. They don't never get back to this world again. You have to be very careful how you're dealing with minds. Is that clear? That's what I'm talking about now. We're dealing with minds, an operation of minds. Listen very closely to this lecture that I'm giving to you, and listen to it over and over again. So I submitted to my teacher. Do you understand? Which made me become a Muslim. So, but here we have one. What do you think of one? A student acting arrogant before his teacher. Hasn't passed all of his tests which would qualify him for the position he desires to have. Has not completed lessons and course of study to qualify him to do this hardest job any man has ever had to do since the earth has stood. The so want-to-be student has not understood the lessons he already has. He calls it baby knowledge. Has not passed the test to qualify him for the high position he has assumed without proper authority. It's like a student studying to become a doctor or a surgeon. He either drops out or is thrown out of the class before he completes his course of training. Yet we find the student out there without the proper credentials of authorization performing operations on people's brains, administering medicine to sick patients without a thorough knowledge of medicine that will only worsen their patient's condition in the long run, performing major surgery and administering medicine without a diploma to do so. What do they call someone who does this? An imposter, a great deceiver, a clandestine, a hypocrite, one pretending he or she is someone or something he is not. And one day the proper authority catches up with such phony imposters, and then they are severely punished or chastised. Imposters are always smiling with a big grin on their face, showing all their teeth to disarm you, to relax your guard. And one of the phony, he's always smiling, and always, showing himself, in other words, throw you off guard. It makes you feel everything is all right when someone is smiling and grinning at you, don't you? Even when the devil comes up, he comes up smiling. Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Jones? Smiling. You get so relaxed and happy. Oh, the devil smiled at me. Oh, the devil looked at me. Think about this now. You get totally off of guard. Now, at first, when you first come in, if you'd been looking real stern, you'd have been real serious. I don't want that over there. I want this over here. But now, anything he says, come right over here. I had a devil even tell me, he said, know what we do with your people? He said, right here, here's 2 refrigerators. Exactly like. I can take one, think about this now, and say, mark it up. $200 up over the price, and the other one, exactly like it, Think about this now, and mark it down. When I come and show them, you know what they will do? They will take the one marked up every time. They think I'm trying to trick them when I show them this one here. Now, now take this one here. It's the same refrigerator, only it's less money. He said every time they will say, I want that most expensive one. Give me that one. But when he's smiling, anything the devil says, anywhere he says, go. Over here, Mrs. Jones. Before you know it, you just signed up something you didn't even want. When you get back home, you say, now, why did I do that? I didn't want that. Many times you've done that, haven't you? But the devil disarms you with a smile. Always be careful, in other words, when someone is coming to you with a great big grin and a big smile. What is it to smile about? Yeah, what are you smiling about? What are you showing all your teeth for? What are you grinning about? In fact, Mr. Muhammad told his ministers that when you go before the people, don't take pictures of yourself showing your teeth. You understand? You can have a subtle smile if you want to, but it's best to be looking serious. All leaders today, in this serious time we're living in, every one of them, they have a serious look on their face, don't they? You see them grinning and smiling? They always try to get you pictures of the president like this. Smile when the people are on giving the news. The news is it's terrible. Just had an earthquake and 1,000 people got killed, and they're smiling. And they had an earthquake there in Mexico, and 2,000 people are dead. They got a mark that smile now, smile. It's the truth. I mean, this is the actual truth. You wonder why they're always smiling, don't you? Giving you such terrible bad news, yet they're smiling. So what I'm saying, when a person comes up grinning and smiling, be very careful. Sometimes all of us smile and grin. There's a time and a place for all things, aren't they? Yeah, you might tell some joke. I might get so laughing, I might be laughing very hearty. But you told me some little joke that made me laugh. You understand? But I'm not laughing when I look up and see my people out there in the snow with no home to live in, and that's where most of them are, right? My people getting laid off their jobs, cutting out their relief checks. What do I have to smile about? I wouldn't even sell you no picture of myself smiling. In fact, I don't say no picture of myself doing nothing. The only picture you get of me is right here is the picture you're getting of me here right now, and I'm not smiling. Only when I see you smile, sometimes you make me smile. Sometimes I smile when I've told you something real important, and you were laughing. The messenger used to do that. He taught me how to do that. You laugh, he's laughing with you. But you didn't catch on to what it really was, what he was really saying. He was telling you something very serious. That's the way God was when he was here. Every time he opened his mouth, the messenger was speaking in a parable. They were always taking him literally. He's speaking in a parable. Right now, I'm standing before you. I'm speaking in parables right now. I don't know whether you're catching on to what I'm saying to you or not, some of you, but I'm speaking in parables. I'm not even calling names. Is that clear? A hint to the wise is sufficient, right? So one day, the authorities catch up with the imposters. Here's a phony imposter standing before you with a knife in his hand. You understand? Who you think is a skilled doctor, get me to operate on you. Because he's been advertising in his newspaper that he's not only a local doctor, but he's a national doctor, known all over the world. Getting ready to operate on you, and you're entrusting your life in his hands. And he's not a real doctor. He only studied to become a doctor. He did not complete his training and receive his diploma before performing surgery on your brains. Is that clear? He's a trickster. He's an imposter. He's a con man. Only this time, it's not only your money the patient is being conned out of, but the patient's very life now is at stake. His future is at stake if he makes the wrong decision now. If it is not already too late, in my conclusion, if you've not already gone too far, with the patient lying there on the operating table, I think the patient had better ask the doctor to show you his credentials, show you his authorization to perform surgery on your brains. Don't you think it's a foolish person? Here you go before the doctor and he prescribes surgery for you. You don't know whether he's a real doctor or not. Think about this now. You haven't even checked him out thoroughly. You go by hearsay. Is that clear? Before he put you on the operating table, do you understand? With your life in his hand, you had better ask him, where's your authority for doing this now, sir? although that's pretty